All right, welcome. You're about to crack open a textbook, but I want you to think of this as something way more. This is not just a book. This is the start of an incredible journey, really an expedition through the 4 billion year story of life on Earth. So let's dive in. Every great expedition needs a map, right? Well, this is yours. And look, this isn't a map of cities or continents. It's a phylogenetic tree. It's a map of time itself, showing how every single living thing, from the tiniest bacterium to the biggest whale, is connected. This is going to be our guide through the epic saga of evolution. So the only real question is, are you ready to explore? To see how it all started and, how we got here? Let's do this. Now, our journey doesn't start with the big stuff like dinosaurs or mammals. No, it starts with the invisible architects of our world. The microscopic life that literally built our planet long before we ever showed up. First up, we've got the most mysterious players of all, viruses. It's wild. They're not really alive, but they're not really dead either. You can think of them as these biological ghosts, just existing in this strange in-between world, totally unable to do anything on their own. And you can really see the difference here. A living cell, that's like a self-sufficient factory, right? It makes everything it needs. A virus, on the other hand, it's a tiny pirate, a biological hijacker with just one mission: find a host cell and force it to make more copies of itself. And don't think for a second that their methods are simple. This isn't just a smash and grab. It is a masterpiece of parasitic engineering. I mean, just look at the life cycle of HIV. It's this intricate 7-step dance for taking over an immune cell. And yeah, this is exactly the kind of complex topic that can be really tough to wrap your head around on your own. But here's the thing, you're not on your own. Your textbook is actually powered by NotebookLM, which is like an AI guide. So when you get to a complex diagram like this one, you can just ask the AI to explain each step, one by one, until it totally clicks. It's like having a personal tutor ready to go 24/7. Okay, so from those strange biological ghosts, let's move on to the true pioneers of our planet. If you've ever seen those incredible, vibrant colors in Yellowstone's hot springs, you weren't looking at minerals, no. You were looking at prokaryotes, Earth's very first inhabitants, just thriving in boiling hot water. They are the ultimate survivors. So that begs a huge question. How in the world did we get from these super simple, tough-as-nails cells to the complex ones that make up plants, animals, and, well, us? The answer is this world-changing event called endosymbiosis. It's the story of one cell swallowing another, not to destroy it, but to form a team. It was basically a chain reaction of cellular teamwork. You had one cell that ate a bacterium that could make energy from sunlight. Then another bigger cell came along and ate that cell. And this process, happening over millions of years, created the ancestors of all plant life. It's just like a Russian nesting doll of evolution. So with these brand new, superpowered cells, life was finally ready for its next great project, moving out of the water and, building a green planet. But life couldn't have done this alone. It took one of the most important partnerships in history, the alliance between fungi and plants. Those mushrooms you see there, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath the soil is this vast network that became the planet's first internet, helping early plants like these horsetails get all the nutrients they needed to survive on land. Now, fungi are nature's great recyclers. They're essential partners, for sure. But they are also incredibly powerful pathogens. They can spoil our food, they can devastate entire crops with rusts and mildews, and they can produce some of the most potent toxins known to science. So once plants got a foothold on land, they started this incredible arms race of innovation. They developed internal plumbing, vascular tissue, to grow tall. They invented the seed, which is like a perfect little survival pod for the next generation. And then, finally, they created the flower, a brilliant marketing tool to get animals to help them reproduce. Now that's a lot to remember, but with NotebookLM, you can instantly create quizzes or flashcards on this timeline to make sure you've got it down cold before you move on. So, with the world now green and full of oxygen, the stage was finally set for the next big act, the spectacular rise of the animal kingdom. And just like everything else in this story, it all started simply. This is a sponge. It's one of the earliest, most basic animal body plans. It's really just a community of cells working together to create a living water pump, filtering food from the ocean. But things did not stay simple for long. About 530 million years ago, we get the Cambrian explosion, just this incredible burst of evolutionary creativity where pretty much all modern animal blueprints just appeared. And suddenly, the oceans were filled with these creatures of incredible complexity and variety, like this beautiful feather star. And that explosion of creativity led to the absolutely breathtaking diversity we see today. I mean, this slide alone captures two masterpieces of evolution. On one hand, you have the insect's tough, lightweight exoskeleton. And on the other, you've got the impossibly intricate structure of bird feathers, a total marvel of natural engineering that makes flight possible. So, across this vast journey, from a single cell all the way to the marvel of a bird in flight, we've seen how your textbook comes with this indispensable companion for the expedition, your AI-powered field guide. We've mentioned a couple of its features already. The platform that makes this all possible is called NotebookLM. It's designed from the ground up to turn your textbook from just a static document into a dynamic, interactive learning experience. So let's just put it all together. You've got these incredible tools right at your fingertips. You can master key terms with interactive flashcards. You can check your own understanding at any point by just making a quiz. And you can get help with any complex diagram by using the AI chat. And this all comes back to that fundamental challenge for any student. I mean, we've all been there, right? It's 2 a.m, you're staring at some complex process like endosymbiosis, and it is just not clicking. With this guide, you're never really stuck. You can always ask for a clear explanation, ask it to summarize a really dense passage, or even see how one idea connects to a totally different chapter. You have a personal guide, available 24/7. The story of life truly is the greatest adventure ever told, and it's written in the DNA of every living thing around us and inside of us. You've just seen a few pages. From viral hijackers to the greening of the planet. Now you have the map, and with an AI-powered guide at your side, you have a whole new way to explore it. The only question left is, what are you going to discover? Hey there, and welcome. Get ready to dive into the absolutely incredible world of animal biology. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about how a firefly glows? Or what gives a cheetah its explosive speed? Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to take a journey through the amazing machinery of life, from the tiniest cell all the way up to the largest ecosystems. All right, let's get into it. Seriously, just think about it for a second. That little firefly's light, that cheetah's sprint, even your own heartbeat. It's not magic, right? It's biology. And over the next few chapters, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the incredible science that makes all of these wonders possible. And just look at the sheer variety of it all. I mean, you've got the spiny echidna, a mammal that lays eggs, which is just wild, all the way to a vibrant starfish, an animal that can literally regrow its own arms. Life has found an almost infinite number of ways to solve problems and thrive, and we're going to figure out the core principles that connect every single one of them. Okay, so to really understand the whole animal, first we have to zoom in. And I mean way, way in. We're going to start our journey at the microscopic level, really exploring the fundamental building blocks that make up all animal bodies. So, one of the first and most critical ideas we need to wrap our heads around is this: homeostasis. The easiest way to think about it is like your body's own internal thermostat. You get too hot, you sweat to cool down. Your blood sugar drops, your body releases stored fuel. It's this non-stop, delicate balancing act that, really, is what keeps you alive and kicking every single second. And what are we actually made of? Well, it all kicks off with specialized cells. But here's the cool part you can see on this slide: how those cells team up to form tissues. Your bones, your blood, the cartilage in your ear, they look and feel totally different, right? But they're all types of connective tissue, each one perfectly engineered for its specific job. Okay, so now let's see how those tissues come together to build something even more complex: entire organ systems. Honestly, you should think of your body as this collection of incredible, high-tech machines, all working together in perfect, beautiful harmony. So take the endocrine system, for example. It's basically the body's chemical postal service. Tiny little hormones get released from glands, they travel all through your bloodstream and act as these little messengers that control literally everything, from how you handle stress to how you grow. And this is just incredible. It shows the sheer elegance of movement. Every single step you take, every time you blink your eyes, it's powered by this intricate microscopic dance happening between proteins inside your muscle cells. It is molecular machinery at its absolute finest. But how does your brain send a message to your foot so fast? It's all thanks to neurons that work on this brilliant all-or-nothing principle. Basically, once a nerve cell gets enough of a signal to fire, it fires completely, full strength. There's no halfway. It's a simple on or off system that creates a communication network faster than you can blink. And of course, we can't forget about fuel. We're going to follow the entire journey of your food. From the second you take a bite, we'll see how this amazingly efficient system of tubes and chemicals breaks it all down and turns a sandwich into the very energy that's powering you right now. But, how an animal gets its energy, well, that affects the entire world around it. So, now that we've explored the universe inside an animal, it's time to zoom back out, way out. Because here's the thing, no animal is an island. Every single organism on this planet is woven into a vast, interconnected web of life. Our planet is this beautiful patchwork of different environments we call biomes. You've got lush rainforests, stark deserts, frozen tundra, and it's the climate, things like temperature and how much it rains, that basically sets the rules for who can live where. It's the grand stage where the drama of life unfolds. So how do populations of animals change? Well, in a fantasy world with unlimited food and space, they just grow forever. That's exponential growth. But in the real world, resources are limited. That leads to what we call logistic growth, where a population grows until it hits the environment's carrying capacity. That's the maximum number of individuals that place can actually support. And understanding this simple idea is like a cornerstone of ecology. And to survive within those limits, different species use totally different playbooks. You've got what we call K-selected species, who play the long game. They live a long time, and they invest a ton of energy into just a few offspring. Then you have the R-selected species, who basically go for quantity over quality. They produce huge numbers of offspring and hope for the best. This slide shows the difference perfectly. On one side, you have the elephant, a classic K-strategist, carefully raising its one calf for years. And on the other, you've got the jellyfish, an R-strategist, just releasing thousands of babies into the ocean to fend for themselves. Two totally different strategies, but both are incredibly successful ways to survive. And understanding these strategies is really important because one species in particular is having a huge impact on all the others. So, why does all of this stuff, from homeostasis to population growth, actually matter? Well, it matters because these fundamental rules of biology are right at the heart of the biggest challenges our world is facing today. Just look at the data. This graph isn't someone's opinion. It's a direct measurement of our atmosphere. It shows the steady, unmistakable rise of carbon dioxide since the Industrial Revolution. That's a key driver of climate change, and it's fundamentally changing all of those biomes we just talked about. And guess what? Those rules of population growth apply to us too. Our incredible population boom is putting massive pressure on the Earth's resources, on its ecosystems, and it's pushing many of them way past their natural carrying capacity. In its long history, our planet has gone through 5 great mass extinctions. The difficult truth that we're going to explore is that the current rate of species loss, driven almost entirely by human activity, is so alarmingly high that many scientists believe we're actually living through the 6th. Now, I know these are huge, complicated issues, but the good news is that understanding them has never been easier or more accessible. Because this isn't just any old textbook, it's a totally new way to learn, powered by a really cool AI platform. Look, the way we learn has to evolve too. It's time to move past just passively reading pages. We're talking about an interactive, personalized experience that really helps you grab hold of this material and make it your own. That's where Notebook LM comes in. Think of it as your personal learning assistant built right into the textbook. For every single chapter, you can get interactive flashcards or auto-generated quizzes to make sure you've got the key concepts down. And this is the best part. If you ever get stuck or just have a random question, you can ask the AI directly in the chat and get an instant explanation. It is literally like having a tutor on call 24/7. So from this secret world inside a single cell to the future of all life on our planet, it's all connected. This course is your guide to understanding that connection and to understanding your own place in the living world. The journey is just getting started. So what do you say? Ready to explore? All right, Welcome. If you're just opening this textbook for the first time, I want you to think of this as more than just a course. Think of it as an adventure. We're about to take a guided tour of the living world, and it's going to be an incredible ride. Just take a look at this little guy, the strawberry poison dart frog. That incredible red color, it's not just for show. It's a warning sign. It's basically nature's way of screaming, "Don't eat me, I'm poisonous." This is just one of the thousands of amazing survival strategies we're going to uncover. And the scale of this journey is honestly mind-blowing. We're going to zoom way in to see the tiny little machines that are running your body right now, and then we're going to pull all the way back to see how every single living thing is connected in this giant, beautiful web of life on our planet. Now, the best part is, you are not going on this adventure alone. This entire textbook is powered by Notebook LM, which is basically your personal AI guide. So as you're reading, you can create interactive flashcards or take quizzes to see what's sticking. And anytime you get stuck or just curious, you can literally ask the AI questions and get answers right away. It's a pretty amazing way to learn. So, where do we start? Well, we start with the most familiar subject there is, you. We're going to dive right into the blueprint of the human body and check out all the incredible machinery that keeps you going every single day. Look, biology can get complicated, right? So we're going to use really clear, organized tools to break it all down. For example, this simple table breaks down your entire muscular system into just 3 types. You've got the smooth muscle in your organs, the skeletal muscle you use to move, and the amazing cardiac muscle that just keeps your heart beating, no questions asked. We're going to build your understanding piece by piece, just like this. And once we get the big picture, we're going to dive deeper, a lot deeper. This is what's actually happening inside your muscles when they contract. It's this incredible, complex dance of proteins that gets kicked off by just one tiny signal from a nerve. You're going to see exactly how that molecular ballet works. We're also going to tackle the really big ideas, the core rules of life, like homeostasis. Think about it. Your body is in a constant balancing act, working 24/7 to keep everything inside you. Your temperature, your blood sugar, everything perfectly stable. We'll explore how it pulls off this incredible feat. And hey, if a concept like homeostasis seems a little tricky at first, that's totally okay. That is exactly what your AI guide is for. You can just ask Notebook LM something like, "Hey, can you explain homeostasis using an analogy?" And it'll break it down for you in a new way until it totally clicks. Okay, so once we've got a handle on the machinery inside an organism, we're going to zoom out. We'll start to look at how all these living things fit into their bigger worlds, from their own little neighborhood all the way up to massive ecosystems. This map just gives you a taste of the incredible variety of environments on our planet. We're going to journey through these different biomes, from a hot, steamy rainforest to the freezing cold tundra, and we'll see how the environment in each place totally shapes the kind of life that can survive there. And in these places, you find these 2 different approaches to survival. You have what are called endemic species, total specialists, like the Venus flytrap, that can only be found in one specific little corner of the world. And then you have the generalists, like a raccoon, that are super adaptable and can pretty much live anywhere. Understanding that difference is huge. And speaking of endemic species, Australia is like the ultimate case study. I mean, look at these 2. On the left, a wallaby, and on the right, an echidna. You've got a mammal with a pouch next to a mammal that lays eggs. When you isolate a whole continent for millions of years, evolution gets really, really creative. We'll also dig into the fascinating ways that species interact. Here, you've got a bird building this amazing nest in a tree. The bird gets a safe home, which is great for the bird. And the tree? The tree is neither helped nor harmed. It just doesn't care. This relationship is called commensalism, and it's just one of the many ways the web of life gets woven together. So, from those individual interactions, we're going to zoom out one last time to look at the biggest picture of all. How populations of living things grow, how they change, and how they affect the entire planet. These 2 simple curves tell a huge story about life. On the left, you've got what's called exponential, or J-shaped growth. This is what happens when a population has unlimited food, unlimited space, and it just explodes. But in the real world, of course, resources are limited, and that's where the S-shaped curve on the right comes in. Growth slows down and levels off when it hits the limit of what the environment can support. And this is exactly why understanding this stuff is so critical right now. That J-shaped curve of explosive growth, it's not just a theory in a textbook. It's what we're seeing right here with carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. You're going to learn the science behind this graph and really understand the massive impact it's having on our world. 11.5%. That's it. That is the percentage of our planet's land that's currently set aside in preserves to protect all the different species out there. So as you learn about all the pressures that life on Earth is facing, you'll be able to ask that critical question, is this enough? So after seeing the whole big picture, the focus comes right back to you. Because the goal here isn't for you to just memorize a bunch of facts. It's to turn you into an explorer, to give you the tools you need to go out and discover things for yourself. So this whole learning adventure is meant to be active. You're going to dive in, you're going to explore, you're going to test yourself with the quizzes and flashcards. And whenever you want, you can ask your AI guide for help. When you use all these tools together, you'll start to see how everything connects, how a mussel cell and a bird's nest and the global climate are all part of the same incredible story.
And we are absolutely not going to shy away from the big, tough questions. In 1968, a very well-respected biologist looked at those population growth curves we saw, and he made this terrifying prediction. It was a massive warning about the limits of our planet. But here's the thing, that massive starvation event, it never actually happened. So why not? Well, in this course, you're going to learn about the science and the innovations that completely change that story. And you'll also see the very real challenges that we are still facing today.
Ultimately, biology is just a field full of profound, amazing questions. How did life start? How does it change and adapt? And, what's our part in its future? This textbook, your curiosity, that's your starting point for finding the answers. So, are you ready to find them?